Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Okay, we are kicking off this episode strong. So welcome back to another Badass Manifester episode. I'm so freaking excited for this topic because it's not talked about enough in this way. Question for you. How freaking ready are you to unsubscribe from some of the bullshit in your life? Some of the BS that's holding you back so that you can create huge shifts. My friend, Avani Jain, who is so amazing. You know when you meet people that are just multi-talented, people who can sing, act, and dance? This is Avani. And what you're about to hear in her story is going to bring your jaw to the ground. The roller coaster that she's had in her business over the last couple years, and how she's really come out on top because she has gotten super freaking clear around how to unsubscribe to the status quo and wake up to her power. And now that's what she's going to be teaching you through this episode and through her work in the world. She's an entrepreneur, she's an investor, she's a podcaster. She has successfully scaled her agency, it's called Matcha Design Labs, to a point where she only has to work 10 hours a week and really truly enjoys true freedom. She's obsessed with taking her learnings and encouraging others to question the hustle and unsubscribe from anything that is no longer serving you. So we are deep diving into what it means to unsubscribe to the things in your life that are holding you back, no longer serving you, and simply things that you're tolerating that you don't even know that you're tolerating. There are so many things in my life that I have now come to recognize, even just since having this conversation, where I'm in this toleration energy and I'm unsubscribing from things that I'm tolerating. It's so powerful and so important and such a simple shift that can actually change your entire life. I'm so excited for you to listen to today's episode. Avani is just a ray of sunshine. She is one of the happiest, most inspiring people that I know. Following her on Instagram is such a joy because she's always motivating me. She's either in the cold plunge or getting her workout in or showing out her outfit. I mean, her outfits are on fleek. Her style is on point, and I can't wait for you to meet her right now in today's episode. Let's unsubscribe, bitches.
I have not said this out loud to the world ever. Basically 2020, what year are we in? 2021 and 2022 were massive years for me and the income I created. They were $1 million years back to back for me.
Wow.
From my business and other investments. And then 2023 was not, which is crazy after such a massive shift. We leveled up in this huge way, and I leveled up. I had the capacity that just expanded in this big and beautiful way. And I was like, okay, I'm calling this in. 2023 was for the agency specifically, a $300,000 a year, maybe a little bit more than that. But for what most people think, if we look at it on paper, wow, that's a massively down year. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I felt for most of the year, because I could feel that it wasn't going to be up to the right forever, always. And I want to really dive into the juicy parts of that because I think that's going to be so illuminating for people and really redefine what does it mean to be successful, because 2023 was a massively successful year for me still, even
Mm,
so.
wow. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am so, so excited that you have like shared this publicly here for the first time. You're like, I've never said this before. That's so exciting because I think vulnerability is like such a key ingredient to inspiring people and helping people see that, yeah, you're human and you're always going to be evolving no matter what level you reach in your business.
Mhm.
So, okay, let's dive into that. What are we unsubscribing from in your learnings from the past few years?
So there's a big shift that was made in 2023, a pivotal experience at the very end of 2022. I had like a big personal shift in my life and a really big, almost, it felt like a bomb that was thrown into my business in the first quarter of the year, which was two key players on my team decided to leave. And they were two key players that kind of ran the business for Q4 and Q1 in a big way. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was left with all these pieces, and I thought my business was in free fall. It was just crumbling. And I will come back to that point in the story because, like, I want to finish that story for everybody.
Yeah.
But the biggest shift that I made from that point onward, and it was it was a messy, crunchy process, it was redefining what success looked like, because I always thought from the moment I started my business in 2017, growth at all costs. We are going up, higher, bigger, faster all the time. And I am an Enneagram 3. So when me saying that, like, you can just feel my energy because it feels
Yeah.
fun to me. But it's not what success actually was for me anymore.
Okay, so when you are tapped into that energy, because I can relate to that too, of like, let's go big, let's go hard, let's go fast, let's like push this thing to the limit. Where do you think that comes from within you?
Mm.
What is the purpose of that?
There's two pieces. It's definitely programming from me growing up and finding a way to be in the world and learning how to be in the world, and the conditioning that has come with creating a high achiever Enneagram 3 who wants to do big things in the world. With There's so much good with that. And for me, there's a part of me that ties my has tied, because I'm moving beyond this,
Yes.
my worth and my value to what I bring to the table from a productivity standpoint, from a money making standpoint. And so that's part of what kept me going and driving me, is like, okay, I reached this new goal, this new threshold. And now I have to keep going to the next one because that's how I continuously prove my value in this world, in this relationship, in this partnership. And I have a massively successful husband too. And so I'm like, what am I contributing to this like thing
Right.
that we're creating here? So
Because
it's
I would gather that, like, I don't know, I don't fully know everything about your husband's career, but I know he's, like you said, massively successful. Like, you probably don't even have to work if you didn't want to.
yeah. Just saying that, admitting that out loud is another thing I've never said.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, we're pushing edges here, right? Because we are talking about how we're going to be, how can we unsubscribe from all of the things in our lives that have put us in some sort of limitation. And in this case, it's a great limitation because it's pushed you to like go big and make a huge impact on the world and make money. And like it's pushed you in such a huge way. It's kind of wild.
It's insane. I am so grateful for that drive and that belief system. And what I'm unsubscribing to is parts of it that are no longer serving me. And that's what
Right.
all
Okay. Let's just highlight that for a second. Like,
okay.
really get that. We're unsubscribing from the parts that are no longer serving. Whoa. I don't know. That just like hit me really hard. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that you underscored that because I think it could have been it's glossed over
Yeah.
often. I'm not unsubscribing to my power.
Yeah.
I'm not unsubscribing to my ability to be independent and influence change in the world. I am saying that I just don't want to operate in that way that I used to, where the drive for more was only that. It was just a drive for more. What's underneath that? What is the why that is driving me to grow to the next level? And for me, growing the agency to, you know, the next level of we're an 8-figure agency, we're a 9-figure agency, or whatever it is, that wasn't in the cards anymore.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to create a space where my team could do what they wanted to do, which is design and serve our clients in an amazing way. And the clients get served and they're really, really happy with the results. And that can keep going on in this beautiful way. And what I have realized is my underlying why was I needed to find a way to get back into the place where I felt like I was creating impact and expanding other people. Because I looked underneath for me after I pushed the like growth at all costs, more for the sake of more out of the way. I was like, okay, there's nothing underneath here. There's actually only fluff underneath here now because the way our lives have changed over the last several years and how our lives have grown. And now I'm looking at, okay, but why am I here? What is my purpose? And that is what drove me to start a podcast. That is
Yeah.
what drove me to say, I'm here to serve people. I'm here to expand people into what they could be. And I started to tap into that energy.
Yes. Yes. That's so powerful. I love how you just like made all those distinctions because I think they're really important. And also, um, I'm curious if there have been like that's very deep work that you're doing on yourself to kind of go in and say, I don't want to just have more for more. So what is underneath of that? How did you get to what's underneath of that for yourself?
Oh my gosh. I can talk about it tactically and I can talk about it from
We like woo woo
okay, I'll
spiritual.
do all of it. I'll talk about
Okay.
all of it from all the angles.
Okay.
Um, so I first, I'm someone who needs focus. I'm like a really obsessive person. Again, Enneagram 3 showing up, like I just can't hold it down. So I was like, okay, if work is not the thing that I'm just thinking about 24/7 right now because it's feels like it's falling apart, it's falling to pieces. Um, I am going to put my effort and energy into something else. And the only thing I can control at the end of the day, no matter what, I can't control my husband, I can't control my parents, I can't control my teammates. I can only control myself, my health and my mental health and my physical health. So I just threw myself into becoming the healthiest version of myself and the from a mental standpoint and a physical standpoint. So I had this massive physical transformation. I started eating really well. I started going to the chiropractor. I started like really working with my body, moving my body even more energetically. And I started working with therapists for my brain. So powerful to
Yes.
process and talk. And part of me is like, why didn't you do it sooner? I think everyone says that.
I've said that to myself so many times.
Like, you needed this,
Yeah.
clearly. It allowed me to start to unlock layers. So those are some of the things I started to do to focus in.
You've also do cold plunging.
Oh yeah, forgot about the biohacking part. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I see
um,
her stories. I'm like, okay, she's in the cold plunge again. Like, oh my God, she's so brave.
I have to say the reason I share those on Instagram is because it's my accountability. Like it's my little, hey, if you do this, then you get to share on stories that you did it. I'm like, oh, it's a little prize at the end of my 3-minute cold plunge at 40 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Biohacking, definitely a big piece of it. And I know we don't always have access to a cold plunge, but a cold shower is incredible. Finding a sauna, the whole hot cold back and forth put me in this like crazy brain space where I just had to shut out the monkey brain inside of me. And that's when things are falling apart. Like I felt like my business was falling apart. The monkey brain just goes crazy and starts to, we have this internal dialogue coming up. And in those moments, I really implore you to find ways to quiet that. And if it, for me, being in 40 degrees water, I can't make it through 3 minutes if I have my monkey brain chattering and I'm like feeding that more. Um, Even in the sauna, it gets really hot for me. I can't make it through 20 minutes if my monkey brain keeps going and going. I just get really, really hot and I start to feel lightheaded. So the extremes in those situations are really helpful to let me feel back into my body. And that's also why movement is so powerful. I know you talk about movement and how it's just so helpful for your flow as
Yes.
well, Ashley.
Yes.
That those pieces are really important to push the conscious mind to the side.
Mm,
And I know we love talking about the mind here, so I'd love to go into that a little bit more as well.
yeah. Give us all the goods.
Okay. So I made the decision to dive into those practices on what I can control for myself. And every day looked a little bit different. And throughout this process, I had to allow myself to be in the void,
Mm.
in this place of, I don't know how this is going to work out. And I had to surrender to the fact that, hey, I might shut this whole thing down.
Ooh,
And I
wow.
had to accept that, which is terrifying. Like you just had these massively successful years and now like your ego takes a hit and you're like, okay, wait, we're not going to do this anymore. Who
Yeah.
even are we?
Right. Right. So it's interesting because when you share your story, I hear that your two, right hand people like left the company and things changed, I would imagine, right? And it's pushed you to this point of accepting that, yeah, like what if this doesn't exist anymore? And it's brought you to the other side, to this new plane that you're on now. So it's almost like all of that was meant to happen. Do you ever like look back on this and think that was totally meant to be? Even though it like
100%.
probably was really hard.
Yeah, I can't imagine it any other way because the outcome after all of this and like me like surrendering to the fact that it could be over after me like spending time in the void and the I don't know is a very uncomfortable place to be and it's a very important place to be. And there is a point where we get tired of our own BS and we're like, wait a second, you keep saying my dialogue. I'll actually share this with you. My dialogue was, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know
Oh,
what I'm doing. I said this over and over and over again to myself. And then I heard myself one day. I was like, are you kidding me? That's not you.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's not you. So what happened?
So I just decided that day I woke up. I remember saying this to my friend, my very best friend in the world. And I was like, wait, I need to stop saying that. And that moment, I unsubscribed to that belief. I said,
Whoa.
it was powerful. It was a microsecond. I said, I no longer am subscribing to this thought pattern or program anymore. I now make a shift. I'm choosing this new program. I'm scripting this new program into my mind. I do know what I'm doing with my life. I feel super clear. And so that and journaling is a super powerful practice for this.
Yes.
Literally future pacing where
Yeah.
we want to be. And I know you talk about this in many different ways.
Yeah. Future pacing is huge. So did you start it's really interesting when I had a moment like that too that I just want to like kind of share because I feel like it's on the same lines and that was when I was transitioning from just being like a manifestation coach to a business coach and I kept telling myself I don't know business. I don't know what I'm doing with business. I don't know why people are coming to me for business because my business was growing and people were like, how are you doing this? And they were just naturally coming to me. But I just had that thought over and over again. I don't know what I'm doing. Same as you. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I was in this meditation and it just like something triggered and it was just like, I have amazing business ideas. Like that's what it said to me. And I was like, oh my God, maybe I can switch it on and off just like that. And I decided, I guess I unsubscribed. I literally unsubscribed, but I never like used that term for it. But I unsubscribed from that idea. And I was like, I am amazing at business. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have amazing business ideas that come through all the time. So I could totally relate to that very feeling of just
Mm.
being like, nope, yep.
Yes. And I love that you said it that way, that it switches, because our mind operates like a computer. It is an organic computer. And all it's doing is it's reflecting back everything we have experienced in life, every program that's been inputted from birth, from even before birth, and it's reflecting that back in the results we create in our day-to-day lives. And we can change it. We are the programmers of our own minds, of our own mental computers. And once we realize that we have that power, that ability to turn a switch on or turn it off, subscribe, unsubscribe, like
Yeah.
look at that mental inbox and say, wait, this is junk.
Yeah.
I'm deleting this. I'm selecting all archiving and I'm unsubscribing to
I love
this
that.
stream.
I like to
The
say
game
it's so clear to,
changes.
okay, yes, keep going. The game,
I'm sorry. I would talk over you. We're just like
we're
vibing. I
vibing.
love it. But the game changes when we do that, when we make that shift.
It really, really does. I love that so much. Wait, say that again. Can't wait. What'd you say? Delete, archive, do
Oh
that one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, so, so when we think of ourselves as the programmers of our own mental computers, or we look at it as an email inbox and realize all of the mail that's coming in and some of it is junk and it's
Yeah.
just cluttering it up, we can click on the checkbox, select all, archive it, and unsubscribe to that stream of thought forever, for
Oh,
good.
that is such a good metaphor for that. Holy shit. I love that. That's so good. So, this concept of unsubscribing, when did that drop into your awareness?
Mm. I'm glad you asked that. So it came to me in the beginning of this process. Huh?
I'm sorry, interrupting you. I'm like, it came to the void.
It came in the void. No, exactly. In this process of being in the ooh, have you seen Stranger Things?
I haven't. I'm like the only one in the world.
Okay, that's okay. You don't need to watch it. I'll describe it to you. So in Stranger Things, there is this place called, gosh, I don't even remember. It's like the underworld. It's like upside down. That's what it's called. And in the upside down, it's like a weird alternate reality of the actual world that they all live in. And you can go into the upside down, and it is weird. It is like hazy and dark, and like everything looks like a little bit strange from the actual reality. And to me, when I envision the void, that's what the void is like. And the thing is, when we're in this weird upside down place, we're just wearing like glasses, like goggles that make us see the world that way. And so we get to go through this space of the void and say, wait a second, there's this point you hit and you get tired of that BS. Like I said, they're like, wait a second, I'm wearing these goggles. I'm like opting out of this. I'm taking these off and I'm coming back to my power. I'm stepping back into that. And so that's during that void was when I realized I had the ability to flip the switches off that weren't serving me anymore. When I had that conversation with my friend, I was like, wait, but I can also apply this to so many other things. So I started to apply it to how I was operating my business. I didn't have to be plugged in all the time and cater to all our clients all the time that, our team members that left, they had left me with a bunch of clients and I was working myself to the bone and I just didn't have the capacity. I was like, wait, not all clients are right for us anyway. So can we just say, hey, no, we're ending our engagement. This is now complete. And so I started doing that and I started restructuring my business around my life because I had
Wow.
never actually done that before.
Whoa. That is a really important detail because I think a lot of people would look at that and be like, there's no way that I can cut off this income or this contract because I'm already committed or I need the money or blah, blah, blah. Like all these reasons that they have to continue to work themselves to the bone, like you said, and just like hustle so hard to keep what they have when somehow you realize it was okay to let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to tell you the magic that happens when
Yeah.
you do this because it's really uncomfortable to take a look at your client roster if you're a coach and be like, "Hey, I'm actually not going to work with these 3 clients that are paying me my old rates because I never raised my rates and they are taking up most of my time and energy and they actually aren't a dream client anymore." And I'm still working with them. Saying, "Hey, our work together is complete." That's really, really hard to do. Our ego doesn't want to do that. But when I did that in my agency, it took it took a lot of guts, and I did that. I said no. We said no to a lot of clients. I started saying no to more leads than I've ever said no to before and saying yes to only the ones that were the right had the right characteristics, that could pay us the amount that we asked them to pay us because we are a really experienced team. The moment I said that, things started to shift. My energy started to shift, and I told you we had a $300,000 year in the agency in 2023. In the last month of the year in December, in 1 week, I closed $250,000 for the next year.
Stop.
1 week.
Oh, you had like a 250K week.
Yes.
What? I can't believe you didn't tell me this before. That's amazing.
I forgot about that part.
Holy moly. Whoa. That is magical.
So when we say no to what is no longer serving us anymore, to no to what doesn't feel like the right match for who we have become, we
Mm,
have space to say yes and subscribe to what is right for us.
yeah. What has this unlocked in you?
It has helped me shift into this space of it's all made up and I can do anything I want anyway.
Ooh, that is so fucking awesome. Yes, 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 yes. Talk about awakening.
Mm,
That's it. It's all made up. And that's when we get to have so much fun and we don't have to take it so seriously. It's just
absolutely.
we're just like playing, just like design. It's all made up.
Yes.
Drag and drop things where you need them, delete that, like pull that in, change the colors, like everything that you need. It's the same.
100%. And that element of fun has come back and that creativity has come back in this beautiful way for me again. I'm like, I feel so good. I made 5 reels this week. I never do that. Who am
Yeah.
I?
Who are
But
you?
it
I
was
love
fun.
it. I love this, Avani, so much. I mean, I've gotten to watch you through this whole transition because we're in a super high level mastermind together. And I'm super excited to see because I remember you coming in and being like, my right hand literally just left. Like that was like when everything was falling apart. And now just seeing you come out the other side of this, you're glowing. You're literally glowing. You started a podcast. You're doing reels. I mean, whoa.
I know.
How
Thank
does it
you.
feel?
Thank you.
Like how does that feel?
It feels amazing and it feels right. I am finally following what lights me up again. It took a long time to get back here, and I'm really, really grateful that I have the space to do that. And a big part of that was I got to surround myself with women like you who
Mm,
go and do amazing things. They're like incredible. I just love watching you do your thing, and it shows me what's possible.
thank you. Yeah. I mean, we're all expanders for each other and like leading the way. And I'm curious what you would say to someone listening right now who is in a place where they feel like everything is falling apart. Everything's falling apart and they don't know what to do.
I see you, and I know that it doesn't feel like it's going to end, but this is a finite moment in time.
Mm,
And know that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it. And allow yourself to just sink into the unknown, the I don't know, because there is beauty in that when you let yourself be there and invest as much time into yourself as possible. It's counterintuitive, but make the time to go to a coffee shop and read a book. That's what I did during this time. I I made space for myself. I sat in the sauna every day. It was like my lifeline sometimes to sit in the
yeah.
sauna for 20 minutes because I was like, this is the only thing that's going to make me feel better.
Yes. And you have to, I say this a lot, but it's true. You have to care about yourself enough to
Mm,
do those things. You really genuinely have to treat yourself like you would treat someone that you love. How would you want that person in your life that you care so much about to care for themselves? And you have to do that for yourself.
absolutely. And it's such a practice. I even watched myself this week was such a busy week, and I got off of that like caring for myself routine and space, and I came back to that today. So please be patient with yourself too. I think that's another thing I would want to say.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Be patient with yourself. So, looking at 2024, what are you most excited about?
I am so excited to keep making juicy content for my podcast and share the concept of unsubscribe and everything that it comes with to the world. I want to be visible in a big way.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited about the ripple effect that's going to create in the world.
Mm, I feel that for you so much. How can someone take what we're saying and put it into practice right now? Like, how can they start to assess what they get to unsubscribe from, like, at the top? Like, maybe they're like listening to this and they're like, I don't even know what I need to unsubscribe from. Where would they start?
I'm so glad you asked me this question because I have something for them. I have taken the whole process of unsubscribing and demystified it and made journal prompts that have helped me significantly throughout this process of stickiness, crunchiness, the void, the like moment of I don't know, or even just a small program that's stuck in our head that we can't get rid of. I wanted to make it easy for us to unsubscribe. So this practice is called the unsubscribe practice, and it is a Notion journaling template for free, but you can also do it on your physical journal. And I have all of the instructions with a little video on how to go through the template. So
Oh my God.
so excited about this.
Wow, congrats. That's huge. And congrats to everyone listening because you're going to get this for free.
Yes, yes. I will definitely send you the link. I might have sent it already, Ashley, but I'll send it to you. And you
We'll
can
put it
also
in the show
find,
notes.
yeah, you can also find it if you find me on Instagram at Avani Jain and DM me the word practice, and I'll send it to you right away.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Okay, what are you currently manifesting right now in your life?
Hmm. I love this question. What am I not manifesting in my life? I am manifesting so many things. I'm manifesting connection in a big way. Today, I just unsubscribed to the fact that making friends at this stage of my life is hard. So
Oh,
I moved out of that because I was sick and tired of my dialogue around that today. And so I'm moving into connection being easy and calling in really deep, soul filling friendships.
that's so beautiful. Because I was going to ask you, what do you need to unsubscribe from to get what you want? That's so good. And that's a good question for all of you listening. What do you need to, that's a good place to start. Obviously do the journal prompts, but what do you need to unsubscribe from to get what you want? Like, what is that thing that's in the way? So I'm so glad that you shared that because that's so powerful. And what makes you a badass manifester?
Hmm. You know, this is something I heard from the retreat we were at recently that someone else said to me, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. But it was about me.
Wow.
And I really loved it. I was like, wait, this is a superpower of mine. The reason I'm such a great manifester is I'm able to be grounded, massively grounded in my practices. Even if my practices are super tiny, because I don't necessarily have the time to like have a 2 hour morning routine anymore. So I'm super grounded and my energy is so vibrant. And that
Yeah.
vibrant energy matched with that grounded nature creates this like sense of, I'm neutral about this and yet I'm so potent I can attract anything I want.
Yes. I like relate to that so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why we're friends.
Yes.
Definitely. 100%. Oh my God, I love that so much. And I had another question for you, and it is, okay, I wanted to ask, what is the best book you ever read to help you on your journey to get you to where you are today?
The first book that's coming to mind, the first one, there's many, but the first one is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. Incredible book. I often recommend it to people who are experiencing their Saturn return because I'm pretty sure that's when I read it. This like moment in our lives when we're in our late 20s or even, in our mid 50s, or we were experiencing a big shift in our lives from a family standpoint or anything. This idea of, he talks about the roommate in our head. I think I called it the monkey brain, and how we are not that person. And he goes through all this discussion about how we can reframe that constant chatter, that dialogue, and disassociate with it because it's not actually ours. And a lot of times, we can talk about energies and what's around us, but a lot of times what we're experiencing or hearing, it's not ours. We maybe picked it up somewhere. Maybe it's even someone else's. So this book is really wonderful. He also has a really great second book that I listened to during the pandemic called The Surrender Experiment, which is also very good.
Yes,
So,
I listened to that one.
mm,
So good. So good. Such good books. I just want to say and acknowledge you and really acknowledge you for like just the work that you've put in on and the inspired action that you've taken to like build what you're building now and the podcast. And I just want to also like highlight that, you're a perfect example of someone who has made $1 million business. You've made multi-millions in your business. And you didn't have a podcast that helped you do that. You had your mission and your why and your team, and you're obviously very skilled at what you do. And the podcast came later. And I just want to highlight that it does, like, if you're listening to this and you want to do and have all of the things, like, just trust that it's all going to unfold and it's all going to evolve exactly as it's supposed to. And to trust that timing, just like Avani, because you you're just following and flowing with your intuition, and it's such a beautiful example of what is possible for people when they do the same thing, unsubscribing from what is no longer serving them, and really tapping into like what will fill their soul. It's amazing. I'm so impressed.
thank you. That's where the magic happens, when we just follow those little nudges.
Yeah, it's so true. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Where can everyone find you, connect with you, listen to your podcast?
Thank you for having me, Ashley. I've loved listening to this podcast, and now being on it, it's just like such a dream. So, first of all, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
And I would love to connect with everyone. I am on Instagram, always on stories pretty much. Maybe I take some weekend days off, but you can find me at Avani M Jain. That's AVANIMJAIN. And listen to the podcast on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We'll be on YouTube soon. It's
Woo!
unsubscribe. And I'm just so excited for you to get your hands on the episodes. We'll probably have more out by the time you're listening. My favorite so far is episode 3, but oh my gosh, they're all so good. The feedback has been incredible. So I'm really excited for all of you to listen in and let me know what you think about it when you do.
Yeah, and subscribe, leave a review, support
Yes.
the
Thank you.
things. Yes, yes, yes. I totally get it. I'm so excited for your new podcast adventure. And I'm so grateful that we're connected. Thank you so much for sharing your light with us. And for all of you listening,
Woo!
thank you so much for tuning
We did some work
in.
today. Thank
Keep
you
being
so
the
much for
badass
listening.
manifestor that
You
you
know
are.
I love my BAM fam.
Deliberately creating
If
your
this
life with
episode
purpose,
resonated
intention,
with
and
you,
love.
please
Have
share
the
it with someone
best
who you
day.
know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.